The United Kingdom is crumbling, a shadow of its former imperial glory, withering away demographically and economically. Since the 1990s, the nation has been stuck in a perpetual state of economic stagnation, with no significant breakthrough in sight. Also, when we come to the military strength, it is better to draw a merciful veil. Once the empire on which the sun never set, Britain is now just a paper tiger and its global influence is shrinking faster than its population. A strong military isn't just about weapons and soldiers. It is about the protection of national interest, ensuring the domestic stability and projecting power on the global stage. But the UK, it is losing ground on every front. Its military budget is a joke, the economic policies are reactive and not proactive, and its global relevance is diminishing every year. Yet, the irony is that it is still considered as a tiger in geopolitics. Well, it is the paper tiger that has lost the touch. The media reports are now painting a devastating picture. The UK's military is essentially a ticking time bomb. If a war breaks out, their entire army could collapse within the next 6 months. This isn't a speculation, this is a cold, hard reality check. According to a Guardian report, a former defense officer has delivered a shocking assessment. The UK army will be decimated in just quote unquote 6 months if it confronted a large scale war like the Ukraine. Alistair Cairns, a former Royal Marines colonel, has painted a grim picture. Using Russia's invasion casualties as a benchmark, approximately 1,500 soldiers killed or wounded daily, he warned that the British Army would be expended within the 6 to 12 months in a major war. His blunt statement isn't a critique, it is a wake up call. We don't necessarily need a bigger army, Cairns emphasized in his piece, but we must be able to rapidly generate depth and mass during a crisis. This isn't just a military speculation, it is a potential national security catastrophe if you look. The UK's military preparedness is so fragile that it can collapse faster than a deck of cards in a major international confrontation. As per the latest official figures, the UK Army has a total of 1100,000 enrolled military personnel, and approximately 25,000 are the reservists. Mr. Cairns has also emphasized that the UK needs to catch up with the NATO allies to place a greater emphasis on the reserves. The Prime Minister's official spokesperson said that the Defense Secretary John Healey has previously spoken about the state of the armed forces that were inherited from the previous government. Pretty worrisome estimates, isn't it? Now let us link this data with the recent escalatory actions between UK and Russia. It turns even more disastrous than ever before. Britain and Russia's diplomatic relations have nosedived after the UK greenlit Ukraine's use of Storm Shadow missile to strike the Russian territory. This move follows Biden's similar approval of long-range ATACMS weapons, escalating the tensions dramatically. The decision was triggered by North Korea's deployment of over 10,000 troops near the Russia-Ukraine border, which the US and UK officials branded a significant conflict escalation. Ukraine swiftly responded by targeting a Russian command headquarters in the Kursk region in the Mariano village. In the midst, we must not forget that Boris Johnson, the former Prime Minister, had dropped a bombshell warning. British troops might need direct deployment in Ukraine if Donald Trump slashes the funding to Kyiv. The former Prime Minister painted a stark scenario where Vladimir Putin could gain strategic advance if US support collapses. Johnson's intervention highlighted the potentially catastrophic implication of Trump's potential return to the White House. With the United States being Ukraine's primary financial and military backer, a withdrawal of support could dramatically alter the war dynamics. The British troops are already assisting the US Air Force in investigating the mysterious drone fights over 3 RAF bases in England. Bloomberg also reported that the Britain had quietly shipped additional Storm Shadow missiles to Ukraine weeks ago, further complicated the geopolitical landscape. As of now, still no one knows how the RAF bases in England were attacked. The United Kingdom's military capabilities are significantly limited, rendering it incapable of sustaining an independent, prolonged war. If it ever engaged in a direct war, the nation will likely be decisively defeated within a mere 6 months. Despite these stark strategic realities, the UK is consistently attempting to project itself as a power and influencing the world beyond its actual geopolitical and military capabilities. And who better embodies this delusional grandeur better than Boris Johnson? That bombastic buffoon who strutted on the international stage like a peacock. A man whose Brexit rhetoric promised a global Britain but delivered nothing more than an international embarrassment. These actions of UK is representing a combination of historic delusion and misplaced national pride, characterized by provocative and ultimately counterproductive diplomatic and military posturing. The UK's army is just 6 months away from implosion if an actual war breaks out, and this must worry London.